What's going on, guys? Here I am with a Big Brother All-Stars 2 simulation for you guys. I started with an original cast of 20 based off of what we had heard out there in the rumor mill and ended up with this 16. I ended up cutting uh, Pauly Califiore because the rumors have been saying that Cody is the Califiore brother that is in there. I ended up cutting as well Nicole Anthony. I just don't think she's going to be on the season as much as I would love her to be on the season. And lastly, I cut Christmas Abbott. I mean, come on, it's Christmas. Nobody wants to see Christmas. Um, so here are the 16 that I'm looking at here. We got Amber from BB16. I think Amber deserves a second chance, especially being in the Stalker Mans with Caleb. That's why I actively left Caleb off of this list, as much as I would like to see him play again. Um, he is a good Big Brother player, good in comps, loyal, maybe a little too loyal. I'd like to see him spice up his game. Next up, we got Bailey. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really too excited to see Bailey play again. I think we kind of seen what she can do in Big Brother 20, but rumor has it she's on the season, so I'm leaving her on. Next up, we got Cody. Cody is a player I'm very interested by. Many people think that he's tied to Derek, that without Derek he can't do well. I'd like to see, if he does play this season, how he would stand up against a cast full of people that, well, let's say, face it, BB16 aren't complete potatoes. Next we got Davon. I mean, come on, everyone loves Mama Day. Enough said. Danielle Donato, people have been clamoring to see her play again. Starting in her first season, I think she was 19, so to see her play in BB8, then again in BB13, coming to see her come back in BB22, kind of seeing her whole life panning over those 3 seasons. Now she's a mom and she started when she was just a kid, a teenager. I'd like to see what she can do. Danielle Reyes, always thought she deserved a second chance. It's not a real secret that I haven't fully watched either of her seasons, but I have watched a bunch of highlights and clips, and she definitely is probably the best player, in my opinion, ever to not win. Enzo's on the cast. Just everyone thought Enzo's going to be on that cast. I'd love to see Enzo play again. I'm a big fan of the Brigade, and that brings me into Hayden Moss. I mean, another person that TMZ is reporting. Big fan of Hayden. Definitely think with his Survivor gameplay and his Big Brother gameplay that he really uh, shown that he's a good player, and I think adding a winner, especially from a middle season like season 12, adds a lot to the cast. Ian Terry's another winner that we're adding to the cast here. Definitely interested in seeing how he can do now that he's older. He doesn't get as much credit, so he definitely has something to prove for his win in BB14. I think he absolutely deserved the win in BB14. Maybe not over Dan, but I can see why Dan lost with how bitter the jury was. I mean, Janelle, it's Janelle. I mean, like I've said earlier, I'm not too privy to the earlier seasons, but I mean, her legend is real, and if she's going to be said that she's on the season, I'm putting her on my cast. Josh is another player that I would like to see how they can do. Now, as you can see later in this list, I do have Paul on this cast, so he does kind of have his crutch alliance, but after seeing how he's been on the challenge, I don't think he'd last very long. So obviously the simulation here doesn't have all those things built into it, but I don't think he's going to make it too far in Big Brother 22 All Stars if he is in the cast. So I definitely like to see him prove me wrong. Next up is Casey. I'm gonna be honest. I think Casey was a very undeserving winner. Problem with Big Brother nowadays is Casey in a nutshell. Once again, another player I'd like to see prove me wrong, but I don't think she's going to be. I have a feeling that she's going up early and she's getting out early this season. Following that, we got Kaser from BB6 and BB All Stars, another old school season representative. It was between him, Paulie, and well, I threw Johnny Mack on there, even though he's not reported to be sequestered. I just like to see him play again. Ultimately, I went with the old school flavor because I didn't want two Califiore brothers on the same season, and I'm just not a big fan of Paulie's. Nicole Franzel, definitely one of the most underrated winners out there, and the fact that it's a all-star season, I'd like to have a few winners on there. I think she's my fourth winner on this list, so 4 out of 16 winners. Definitely like to see how she does. We have the two-time runner-up Paul. Definitely has something to prove, and CBS has said that they are running a season that they have people that are trying to prove themselves. I thought I heard he was in sequester, but I'm starting to hear things that he's not, but I included him anyway. And lastly, we have Tyler. I mean, he's the quintessential pick for an all-star season in the 20s. Definitely should have won Big Brother 20. Um, I'd say Showmance with Angela kind of ruined his chances there. So at the end of the day, Tyler, no Angela, I think he could be a favorite to win a season like this, especially if he gets some momentum, if he can loop in those former bonds with Bailey, um, heal those wounds, which I'm sure he has in real life by now. Team up with some more of the newer players, you can make a run at it. So for my season choice here, I took Big Brother 21. Most of the seasons in the 20s have a lot of twists and a lot of things I'm not a big fan of, but I wanted to have a 16-person cast without just going for a default set here. So I went with 21, especially with the camp comeback twist and it being all stars. I kind of like the idea of having them in the house. Now I've never run a simulator on Big Brother 21, so I don't know how that plays into this, but we'll find out. The banishment competition is definitely going to be interesting. It kind of sucks to see one of these all stars get voted out right away. Um, if it's anything like his history and how unlucky he is, it probably end up being Kaser, but we'll find out. So here we go. I'm going to let the simulator decide everything, and the winner is the winner. So here we go. Let's proceed. So let's just show some relationships here in the house. Kaser feels a medium dislike towards Cody. Interesting. Janelle and Devon also don't like each other. While Tyler and Amber, the curly haired duo, are starting to feel a slight bond towards one another. I like it. Ian, I'm not surprised, starting to feel a slight bond to a woman in the house. He definitely connected with a woman in his season, Brittany. And, I mean, ultimately, Ian's a very likable guy, and Amber, well, hopefully, doesn't turn into a stalker mance with Ian. Tyler and Josh are feeling a slight dislike towards one another. Well, Josh being disliked. What a surprise. Tyler and Cody feeling a mutual slight dislike towards one another. I'm shocked by that. I wouldn't see that happening. So let's see how it pans out. Paul and Danielle feeling a mutual slight bond. That's BrantSteele for you. Danielle and Cody with a slight bond. You know, Cody having all those dislikes up there, it's nice to see him having a bond because in his season he was generally well liked by everybody. Kaser and Devon with slight dislike. It's not good for Kaser. He doesn't seem to have anyone he's bonded with in the house. And then Ian and Danielle with a slight dislike towards each other. I just don't see that happening with Ian. Being the super fan that he is, I would feel like that he would almost idolize a player like Danielle. So those are the relationships. Let's see how it goes. So the house guests will have to vote for a camp director. The camp director will be safe for eviction. So Amber, Josh, and Kaser all selected to all wanted to be the camp director. I could see it with Josh and Kaser. I would think Amber would kind of want to ride, uh, hang low. Kaser definitely, based on his history, would kind of want to get out there in front because he has been screwed out of a couple seasons. And well, Josh, you know, in his season, he grabbed that golden apple because he didn't think he was safe. So this is his way to get safety. So let's see the votes. Amber throws a vote towards Kaser. That's interesting that she threw a vote towards someone else in the running. As we remember from Big Brother 21, you can vote for someone who didn't put their name in the ring, um, as far as I remember. Um, then Bailey voted for Josh. Interesting, with their challenge ties, I'm not surprised. Cody voting for Amber. All right. Davon for Josh. No commentary there. Danielle, old school players sticking together. Both Danielles voting for Kaser. Enzo voting for Josh. So it looks like a two-horse race between Josh and Kaser. So then we have Hayden voting for Amber. It's a lot closer of a race than Big Brother 21 when Mickey won. Ian voting for Amber. Yeah, 333. So we only got, what, 5 more votes left, and it looks like the next vote is Amber, which it is Janelle. And then Josh voting for Amber as well. See, I mean, I guess I was wrong, or maybe this is just coded incorrectly, but I thought you could vote for somebody that wasn't in the running. But Josh having to vote for Amber and then essentially giving her a commanding lead, that's going to hurt his chances. Casey voting for Kaser. Wow. Casey voting for Kaser. That's hard to say. Say that 5 times fast. We have Amber at 5, Josh at 3, Kaser at 4. So that we have 9, 12 of the 16 votes out there. So it's still anybody's game. We have Kaser voting for Josh, making it a close one. We got Nicole voting for Amber. So with the 644, and then the next one is Kaser, so it's 645. We have 645, so it's 9 plus 6. That's 15 of the votes. So Josh is out of the running. It's between Amber and Kaser, and if it's Amber and Kaser is 6-6, I wonder how they would handle the tie. Paul voted for Kaser, by the way. And then lastly, we have Tyler, the curly-headed duo, voting for Amber, and Amber going from being the victim of the soccer mance to now being the camp director. It's curious to see who she'll banish and try to get out of the house right away. It's very interesting to see her go for the power right away. Definitely could see it after what happened to her the first season. We got Cody banished. Definitely some revenge from 16 there. We got Enzo banished. Davon and Danielle are also banished. 2 guys, 2 girls, a clear not yet. No girls alliance, no guys alliance. Well, we can't confirm a guys alliance, but if it was an all girls alliance, which always fails, don't think Amber would be putting up Davon and Danielle. So we could lose some old school players here pretty early. That would suck. I don't really want to see any of these 4 go, especially Cody, especially Davon and Danielle. You know, Enzo, as much as I like to see him play, he's not exactly a comp beast, so if he was banished, I wouldn't be surprised in reality that he would not make it back in. So, kind of got a spoiler here. That's unfortunate. But Cody, Davon, Danielle, and Enzo all went into the search for Camp BB comp. Davon, Cody, and Enzo all made it to the house. And just like that, Danielle Donato's season is over. I don't think anybody out there is happy about this. I think this is the whole reason we don't like these twists. But like I said, I wanted to do it because I wanted to keep the people in the house. Danielle is going to come back in the house. Hopefully she can win herself back in. Otherwise, especially since this is, I'm trying to think COVID times, keeping people in the house would be beneficial. So now the simulation won't show it, but if they did do a Camp BB setup, I don't think she would leave the house and then not go. She would probably go right upstairs to Camp BB if they did this. She would not leave and then not come back for another week. So heading on to the HOH competition, Amber is not eligible to compete, but does choose the pairs. So Enzo and Paul are a pair. Cody and Kaser are a pair. Bailey and Nicole are a pair. Hayden and Janelle are a pair. Ian and Casey, Davon and Danielle, and then Josh and Tyler. And it looks like our first HOH of the season is Hayden, and this was in the Color Wars comp. I think this is the one where they both had to hang on to on the same thing, kind of similar to a BB15 start, but that was all individual. They both had to hold on to one, and then once they got to a final 2, they either chose or one person had to drop. So Hayden winning the first HOH of the season, just like he did in his own season. It's very interesting. So the twist, the nightmare, chaos, and panic competitions to get those little wackativity, wackalicious, whacktominous competitions to get those powers. Not very interested in the groupings here. We'll see who gets the powers as we go. So Ian has won the Nightmare power. It'd be interesting to see if he can do what Ovi couldn't and actually last long enough to use that power. So let's see who Hayden puts up for nomination coming up next. Hayden has begun the nomination ceremony, and because we don't have keys anymore, he just reveals that Josh and Kaser are nominated. And unfortunately for Kaser, he sees himself on the block early in another season. Josh, when he was in his season, also was a target early, but he fought his way out of it. It's interesting if both of these guys are going to go home, if one of these guys are going to go home, or if it's going to be a back backdoor situation. Let's ignore the fact that this is Big Brother 21 and two people of color went up on the first set of nominations. Let's just ignore that. Ian did not use his nightmare power. Good enough. So for the veto selections, Ian has been drawn. Ian is getting to compete a lot early on in this game. Josh draws Devon, and Kaser has chosen Amber to participate. Be interesting to see if Amber would use her veto if she would win on Kaser. I don't see Ian being the type of player to use the veto. Devon, not on Josh. Josh just, nobody likes Josh. Let's be real. Amber has won the power of veto in the food fight competition. This is the competition that Casey won in Big Brother 21. That was catching balls, I guess. I think Casey won. No, it was Sam. Casey didn't turn it on until later. Um, so with Amber winning, it's interesting to see if Kaser will be saved because she was chosen by Kaser. Oh, and she does not use the power of veto. That's unfortunate for Kaser. I could definitely see Kaser getting sent home early here again, but we'll find out. So we had some events in the house. Let's show these events. Amber and Kaser found something in common, and it has a lasting impact. If only they had found that in common before the veto ceremony, am I right? And Bailey and Devon had a small fight, so not looking good for Bailey or Devon. That's going to cause some issues in the house. And then Danielle lost some popularity in the house, and an alliance was formed. I'm interested. I thought it would be the curly-haired duo of Amber and Tyler, but it's actually Amber and Devon, both safe from eviction this week. Let's go to the votes. Josh and Kaser are trying to stay in the house. Amber has voted to evict Josh. Bailey has voted to evict Kaser. Cody has voted to evict Kaser. Devon's vote goes for Josh, and the votes are tied 2-2. Danielle has voted to evict Josh, so we could be seeing a winner go home early here with the votes 3-2, but we have a lot of votes left. Enzo has voted to evict Josh. Josh is not good at making friends, and it's clear that he might have pre-gamed too hard, so rumors are having that he was out there pre-gaming. Votes are 4-2. Ian votes to evict Kaser. What's up with Ian trying to vote out these old school players? You think the superfan would want to keep them in? Janelle has voted to evict Kaser. The votes are 4-4. We are in a close contest here. Casey votes to evict Josh, which because of their challenge ties, I thought she would stick with them, but no, it's 5-4. 9 votes cast, only 13 votes. No, 12 votes are in play because Danielle Donato has unfortunately been eliminated, so there are 3 votes left. Nicole has voted to evict Josh. Paul has voted to evict Josh, the most shocking vote of them all. 7-4. Tyler's voted to evict Josh. That's it. Goodbye, Josh. Josh, a winner. The second out of the season of Big Brother 22 All-Stars by a vote of 8-4. Josh is out of the house and Kaser lives. Clearly not a house united though. 8-4. The house is divided. The house guests have officially been informed about Camp Comeback. In my scenario, they've already been informed, but Danielle and Josh are wearing those stupid camp uniforms and are upstairs in the eventual have not room. So here we have our reset with Amber with her POV win, Hayden with his HOH win, and Danielle and Josh are both in Camp Comeback. Don't forget that Amber also won the popularity contest and is the reason that Danielle Donato is gone. So I think Miss Popular is suddenly not so popular anymore. Let's show the alliances now. Still only one alliance. No big alliances have been formed. This is not like most modern Big Brother seasons where you see 6, 7, 8-man alliances formed. So we have our relationships. Bailey and Devon are still not liking each other, while Tyler and Amber, the curly-haired duo, are still at it. Kaser and Cody, that dislike is growing strong, but Danielle and Tyler also dislike Cody. I don't know what Cody did. He probably threatened to go beat somebody up like he did during 16 and never followed through. Janelle and Devon also don't like each other. Kaser does not like Devon. Paul and Ian are bonding. Ian and Danielle are disliking each other. And Cody is disliked by another Cody is turning himself into a villain here. I do not see him lasting longer than a few weeks at this rate. Amber is at it again. Amber is making herself known. She is here this season to participate, to win. She wins the second HOH of the season. I believe this HOH was won by the Jackhole in the first season. The Wactalicious competition, and Cody wins the Chaos power, which is the worst power. I mean, he is currently in the Jack role. Everybody is starting to hate him, and all he can do is force a redraw of the players. He wins the worst power, and he's got 4 people on his back. It's not good news for Cody. The nomination ceremony. Amber has begun and nominated Ian and Nicole, but Ian has the Nightmare power, and he used it. So both nominees are safe for now. He is off the block. I thought the power was able to be used after the vetoes, but I guess not. I mean, it wouldn't. If it was, it wouldn't have been coded like this. So now Amber has to nominate 2 more players for eviction, and she puts up Bailey and Janelle. Man, I really hope Bailey doesn't go home. I don't want a repeat of Big Brother 21. Here comes the veto draw. Amber draws Paul. Bailey, using house choice, draws, I'm guessing, the initial target, Ian, to participate. And then Janelle draws Devon. Let's see if, with the house choice, if Ian wins the veto, if he pulls Bailey from the block. Cody does not use his chaos power, which, with the amount of dislike in the house, you'd think he would force a redraw and give him a better chance to get inside that veto comp. Paul has won the power of veto. Let's see if he uses it. Paul does not use the power of veto, and that means either Bailey or Janelle are going home. This is a rough start to the season for Big Brother Twitter here, with 2 of their favorite players, Bailey and Janelle, up and ready to go home. You know, I really hope Janelle stays. Like I said at the beginning, I'm kind of mad about Bailey, but if she stays, she might have a chance to win it. It's always good to get yourself off the block. So let's show some events in the house. Oh my God, Amber and Ian with a major fight. This is Ian must not like curly-haired players because he had a fight with Frank, and now he's having a fight with Amber. That fight is going to have a lasting impact in the house. It must have been after he used his chaos power. I mean, his nightmare power. I would not be happy if I was put on the block, if I had put my target on the block and they pulled themselves down. Nicole having a meltdown, and shocker. And now we have another alliance forming. Kaser going from the block and now into a power alliance of 4. Amber, Danielle, Kaser, and Tyler. Amber and Tyler, the curly-haired duo, going at it. Tyler, with the highest loyalty of the alliance, makes sense. He was always loyal to his alliance, level 6, loyalty 6. So here come the votes. Cody votes to evict Bailey. Devon, after the fights and stuff with Bailey, votes to evict Bailey. Danielle votes to evict Bailey. Enzo votes to evict Janelle. Hayden votes to evict Bailey. Ian votes to evict Janelle. Get to step in, Janelle. Casey votes to evict Bailey, and after their fallout on the challenge, I am not surprised. Kaser votes to evict Janelle. Nicole votes to evict Bailey. The votes are 6-3, 6-4 after Paul votes to evict Janelle. So a reset here, we have 11 votes, 6-4. So it's over. Bailey is going home. Even with Tyler voting to evict Janelle, Bailey is going home with a vote of 6-5 and joining Camp Comeback. Oh boy. By a vote of 6-5, Bailey has been evicted. Bailey, Danielle, and Josh are all in Camp Comeback, with Amber with 2 comp wins early on. I would not be surprised if whoever is HOH this week tries to take a shot at her. Let's show these alliances. Amber is running this house. She has a side alliance with Devon and a major alliance of 4 with Danielle, Kaser, and Tyler. And the relationships, again, Tyler and Nicole do not seem to like each other. Josh does not seem to like Nicole. Danielle, Donato, obviously still in the house, not liking Rat Cole. Enzo doesn't like Rat Cole. Kaser doesn't like Nicole. Oh, Janelle and Nicole don't like each other. Oh, a lot of hate for Nicole. Still same amount of hate for Cody. Ian and Paul are bonding, which is good after that fight. Let's see, is there anything about Amber and Ian in here? Doesn't seem to be there. Enzo winning a competition. Oh, it's that crap shot, power shot competition from last season that I believe was Holly, but I'm not 100% sure. Because she ended up getting out. Who was third in that season? It was Ovi, Kemi, and then Cliff. Yeah, I don't remember. So we had the Whack Delicious competition with 2 people gone. Danielle wins the Panic Power and is now has a Diamond Power of Veto. Danielle has a lot of power and is in a power alliance of 4, so very strong here for Danielle to win that Panic Power. And with the Nightmare Power already gone, there's only 2 powers left in the house. Enzo has begun his nomination ceremony and has nominated the blondes of Janelle and Nicole. Interesting here. I thought Amber would be nominated, but maybe she's a backdoor candidate. So here comes the veto draw. Hayden, Enzo's boy. Let's see, they haven't shown any dislike, like, or bond together. It's interesting. Cody and Ian are all on there. So I have a feeling if Enzo wins this veto, he's going to use it and backdoor Amber. It's just my prediction here, but it's BrantSteele. Who knows? And then the veto competition, and Enzo wins the power of veto in the haunting of Caitlin Herman. Enzo winning a puzzle. All right, well, let's see if he uses that veto. And he does, and Amber has officially been backdoored. Danielle had the chance to save her alliance member with the diamond power of veto because, well, it would be Enzo who would have the diamond power of veto, so she wouldn't use it, my bad. But Enzo using all the power this week to backdoor Amber and put her on the block. Now, Amber does have an alliance, but will that alliance be able to swing the votes and get rid of Nicole, another winner? Or are we having another person of color that can't come back? Boy. Yikes. So let's show some events. Paul is impressing the rest of the house. You know, Paul is always, he always has his call. Casey's having a meltdown. That's not like Casey. Devon having a meltdown, and then Janelle gaining popularity. We have a new alliance formed, a bigger alliance. So Danielle, who is on the outside looking in, Cody, Hayden, Paul, Ian, and Janelle. Ian being within a big alliance, I'm not surprised. Danielle, if she is able to get back in, it's an alliance of 6. If she goes home, it's still a strong alliance of 5. So we have 2 bigger alliances here, but one, the alliance of 4 will drop to an alliance of 3, or the alliance of 6 will drop to an alliance of 5 after the eviction. So here come the votes. Cody has voted to evict Nicole, which means his alliance is targeting Nicole. Devon has voted to evict Nicole. Danielle has voted to evict Nicole. Hayden has voted to evict Nicole. That's 4 votes Nicole. Ian, in Cody's alliance, Cody going rogue? Votes to evict Amber. Is it a Henky vote? Janelle votes to evict Nicole. Casey votes to evict Nicole. Kaiser votes to evict Nicole. Paul votes to evict Amber. And then Tyler votes to evict Nicole. Nicole, by a vote of 8-2, is out. So Enzo's backdoor attempt fails, and Casey is out, and now Amber's going to be coming back with some blood in her eyes, and Enzo holding the knife that failed to stab Amber. Nicole has joined Camp Comeback. Will she make it back in? Here comes the comeback comp. It's right away. And Josh returns to the game. That means we lose Danielle, Bailey, and Nicole. They are all going home. I think the least favorite person in this Path to Redemption comp has come back. Josh is probably shaking and crying. Josh is back in. Can he make it as long as Cliff did when Cliff came back in Big Brother 21? Week 4 is here. Here's our reset. Nicole, Bailey, and Danielle are gone. The vetoes, the competitions are kind of stuck between these 3. Let's see if someone can get a second HOH or if someone else new can grab power. Again, here's our alliance reset. We have an alliance of 5, an alliance of 4, and then Amber should really work on trying to pull Devon into this alliance and have 2 sides of this house. Our relationships here. Devon is disliked. Mutual dislike between these 2. Kaiser dislikes Casey. Josh is disliked. Casey's disliked. There's a lot of dislike going on in this house, and not much bonding, huh? Yeah, everything here is disliking, but Cody seems to have got out from under all of his dislike. And if you remember from last week, this might explain the Nicole vote. There was a lot of dislike towards Nicole, and she just couldn't get herself off the block. Maybe there's a lot of like towards Amber, and that's why she was backdoored. Maybe it was all a plan all along that Amber was a better pawn than Janelle. Janelle's such a big threat that if she's on the block, she's going home. Janelle just won the HOH, and now we are sending Amber, Davon, Enzo, and Josh to the have not room. Let's see who Janelle nominates for eviction. The curly-headed duo of Amber and Tyler. Tyler has been laying low early on, and Amber has been fighting, and it's been proven that Amber's pretty popular in this house. So interesting to see if Tyler can wriggle off the block. He's not had to face it much, only going to the block once in his season. By contract, Amber's a bit of a block veteran by now. So let's see what happens. Let's see who's drawn for the veto. Cody once again does not use his chaos power, so then we have Kaser, Danielle, and Ian all in the comp. I can't even begin to evaluate this. I have no idea who would pull who off. I think Danielle would definitely pull off Amber. Amber, Danielle, and Tyler are all in the same alliance. So, and Kaser. So we got 4 of this alliance all in this veto comp, but who will they elect to save if they have the chance? This would have been a time for Cody to use his chaos power, but he sits on it for another week. Probably waiting to use it for a time where he thinks he's going to be backdoored. Kaser's won the POV, so now we have a bit of a dilemma here. Is he going to take off the person who picked him to play in Tyler, or is he going to pull off Amber? It's more of a lesser who thinks has a better chance of staying sitting up on the block. I think Amber's proven that she's good at sitting there, and I think he's probably going to pull off Tyler. Let's see what happens. He does. He uses the POV on Tyler, and Casey has been backdoored. She did not get to play in the veto competition. So Amber or Casey will be going home and will be in the Bella position from last season. So let's show the events. Paul is still impressing the house while Enzo is losing popularity. Alliance 4 has been formed, a now 7-person alliance, including Josh, Janelle, Davon, Enzo, and Hayden, Ian, and Cody. So we have a 7-person alliance, but with one of them being the HOH, and we're going to be evicting either Amber or Casey. So this alliance is going to remain intact. Here come the votes. Cody has voted to evict Amber. Davon has voted to evict Casey. Danielle and Enzo have voted to evict Casey. The votes are 3-1. Hayden has voted to evict Amber. Ian has voted to evict Casey. Josh has voted to evict Casey, and I think Casey's done. Kaser voting to evict Casey. Paul votes to evict Casey. Tyler votes to evict Casey. Staying with the house here, even though that's his ride or die from season 20. Casey's eliminated, and there goes another winner from Big Brother 22. I'm not surprised the winners tend to go early in these All-Star seasons. So bye-bye Casey. By a vote of 8-2, you are out. Amber survives another 8-2 vote on the block, and that becomes our 4th evicted house guest. And no, I'm not even gonna say it. So here we go. Bailey, Danielle, Nicole, and Casey, 2 winners gone. We have the reset of the house. Amber, Enzo, and Janelle all have HOHs, while the POVs are split a little bit more evenly between 4 players. Hayden has one too. They're all split evenly. I don't know what I'm saying. That house status. Let's show these alliances. Alliance 1 is still strong, that final 2 from the beginning, although Amber seems to be waning in her loyalty. That second alliance, been there since week 2. We got a very strong alliance there. Then this alliance of 5 with Cody, Hayden, Ian, and Janelle with Paul has spun off and made another alliance of 7, pulling in Davon, Enzo, and Josh, and leaving out Paul. And Paul's impressing the house, so it's interesting to see that. And then Davon has her loyalties to Amber, who's in the other alliance. This is a tangled web that we weave. So Amber's starting to dislike Paul, while Tyler's starting to dislike Paul. There's so much dislike, and here comes that curly-headed duo bonding again. Cody is the subject of more dislike, while Davon is a subject of more dislike, and of course, no one. That's shocking. But I mean, you can't explain anything here. It's been years. So Kaser has won the HOH. Could Kaser be on his way to winning Big Brother All Stars 2 after struggling in his first 2 seasons? Cody, Davon, and Enzo are all have-nots. Who is Kaser going to nominate? He puts up both Davon and Ian. That's brutal. The smaller alliance has targeted the larger alliance of 7. If these two end up on the block, you could see Amber fighting to keep Davon in the game. Ian's days as a winner in this game could be numbered. Let's see who's picked for the veto. Kaser draws for Janelle to participate. Davon draws Josh, and Ian draws Enzo. Cody once again does not use the Chaos power, being that Josh, Janelle, and Enzo are all in his alliance with Ian and Davon. There is a good chance that one of them can win. Pull one of them off the block, and then they'll have the votes to keep whoever Kaser puts up, unless Kaser is aware enough to put up someone in that alliance of 7. The best case scenario for Ian's smaller alliance of 5 is for, honestly, Davon to get cut and that alliance of 7 to get dropped to alliance of 6, but we'll see what happens. Here comes the veto. Davon has won the power of veto, and everyone is rejoicing. We're going to get someone off the block, but this could be spelled the end for Ian Terry. Danielle did not use the panic power, which makes sense. So Davon has used it, and then Cody has been backdoored. Cody and Ian, a runner-up and a winner. That is brutal. Cody had the chance to use his chaos power, to have a chance to get in there. Ultimately, it was the right decision for him to not. But ultimately, it was the wrong decision for him not to use the power, because if he had a chance and he got drawn, he could have saved himself and, say, Ian or Davon. But now, Cody or Ian are going home. This is from the core alliance of 5, not the spin-off alliance of 7. So the numbers are going to start evening up in this house. So let's check out the house status. We'll show some events here. Cody and Hayden are having a major fight. Cody having a major fight, but then gaining popularity, which means Ian might be in trouble here. Cody and Hayden having a fight, which means Hayden might. Being in the alliance with Cody, Hayden might have blown up that alliance. People are finding out, you know what? Let's get rid of Hayden. He's a winner. Let's get rid of Ian. He's a winner. Let's keep Cody. We'll see if that hand stands out or if this is all just a ruse, editing trick. Amber votes to evict Cody. Davon votes to evict Ian. Danielle votes to evict Cody. Enzo votes to evict Ian. We are tied 2-2. Last set of votes was 8-2, so that's 10 votes. So we have a 9-vote thing here. So there are 5 votes left. Hayden votes to evict Cody. Not surprised there after their fight. Janelle votes to evict Ian. Josh votes to evict Ian. We have 7 of the 9 there. We need a vote for Cody if Ian wants a chance to stay. Paul votes to evict Cody. We're going to come down to the 9th and final vote. Who will decide the fate? It is Tyler, and he votes to evict Cody. Ian survives the block on eviction night, and Cody Calafiore is pre-jury. You know, I came into this wondering how Cody could do without Derek. Turns out Cody's pre-jury without Derek. Cody had the chance to use his chaos power. He did not use it. He played himself. He is now out of the house. Out, not even in the jury. Week 6, here we come. This is the Sam eviction week from Big Brother 21 and the last week before jury. So here we go with our reset. Bailey, Cody, Danielle, Casey, and Nicole are all gone. Let's see who wins the HOH. No one has won a second HOH yet, so let's see if the power continues jumping. This is similar to Big Brother 21, where the power was jumping for quite a while. There was no repeat HOHs. So who wins? We'll find out after we see these alliances. So a 7-person alliance has fallen because of the eviction of Cody, but the smaller core alliance of Hayden, Ian, Janelle, and Paul has stayed true. So we have this group of 3 here that is in both of these alliances. They have ties to this group of 3 who then also have a slight tie here, and then we have a group of 4 here, and then Paul's kind of floating by himself. Is this all? So there's 16, 5 evicted, so there's 11 house guests left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, all 11 house guests are accounted for in an alliance. So Paul's kind of in a good position here. I don't see him being a primary target, of either of these alliances. Davon definitely in a good position. She has her ties to Amber. She has this ties to the Alliance number 4. So we get some house warfare going on here, and Kaser and Amber's loyalty are really rising for that alliance. So let's see how the relationships are acting. Amber, Tyler, and Danielle all are disliking Paul. Amber also dislikes Devon, which is interesting because they're in an alliance together. Of course, the curly-haired duo are bonding again, while Kaser does not like Devon, Josh, and Paul not liking each other. Lots more dislike in this house. Does anybody like each other other than these two? And is this going to be our final two? Hayden wins his second HOH. You got to get rid of Hayden. He's a comp beast. He could win it all just on his comp, especially as we get towards the end of the season where the comps get more physical, as we know from Big Brother 21. Hayden has nominated both Kaser and Tyler to be evicted. Kaser and Tyler are in trouble. That is the large alliance of 6 or that sub alliance of 4 coming after that other alliance of 4. Plain as day. We got house warfare. Let's see who's picked for the veto. Janelle, Paul, and Amber. So Kaser, Tyler, and Amber. It's a 3v3 here between the two alliances of 4. I believe. Yes, it is. So let's see how it goes. Who is going to win the POV? Tyler will be the alien doctor. Paul will have to get yelled at by aliens. Kaser will be the BB explorer. Hayden wins a trip to Hawaii. Amber wins $5,000. And Janelle has won the power of veto. Janelle, as long as she doesn't pull out any shenanigans, has locked in that someone in that small alliance of 4 will go home. Danielle, your diamond power veto once again cannot be used because it is not in the hands of a player that you trust. Here comes the veto ceremony. She does not use her panic power and it will expire. She just never had the opportunity where it would be strong enough for her to use. Tyler has been saved and Amber is the replacement. Amber with her second back door. Kaser or Amber. Could Kaser be going home pre-jury for a second time? It's entirely possible. Amber. She's been on the block on eviction night a couple times now. Will she survive again? We have 8 votes in this upcoming eviction. Here comes the house status showing our events. Enzo and Janelle are bonding slightly. Ian and Kaser are finding something in common, which is good. Kaser is trying to come back and join that other group, while Enzo and Paul seemingly form a final 2 deal. It's going to be amazing to see Paul sit next to Enzo and get second place. So here comes the eviction. Devon votes to evict Kaser. Danielle votes to evict Amber. Enzo votes to evict Amber, and Ian votes to evict Kaser. So we have a vote of 2-2 with 4 votes remaining. Let's see how the votes fell. Of course, Devon isn't going to vote out her alliance member. Danielle has to choose between one. Enzo votes out Amber, and then Ian splits from his alliance. You'd think that there'd be more, unless they're trying to hide their bigger alliances. Janelle votes to evict Kaser. Josh votes to evict Kaser. We're going to need 2 votes for Amber, or Kaser is gone. Paul votes to evict Amber. And it comes down to Tyler's vote. There's no way he votes to evict Amber in the curly head duo. Kaser's gone. Tyler votes to evict Amber. We had the biggest shock of the season, forcing a tie vote, sending it to Hayden. Will Hayden get rid of Kaser or Amber? We're going to have Hayden looking at Amber like Caleb and saving her, or will he save Kaser and let him hit jury? Let's find out. Hayden votes to evict Amber, his biggest HOH and comp threat in the house so far. Amber played too hard in the beginning and is going home pre-jury once again. That is unfortunate. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little upset, and I can't stop pointing this out because it's unreal. Although this cast does have quite a few POCs, so it's playing into it. They're all going home, but so here's our reset. Amber, the only one of the 6 pre-juries to have an impact and win a comp in this game. The camp director, so the Jackson Mickey position is over. she will not pull off what Jackson Mickey did and be from power to power at the end. Um, let's see if the smaller alliance without Amber, now Tyler, Kaser, and Danielle, not even having Danielle's Diamond Power veto, if they can come back or if they're going to get steamrolled and we'll see the big alliance take over. Let's check out the house. Showing up the alliances, we have our alliance of 3. We have this core alliance of 4, and then the larger alliance of 6. So this alliance of 3 is the key. And then Paul is branching out and looping into Enzo here. Let's see if the dislike train is still on. Dislike Paul, dislike Paul, dislike Devon, dislike Devon, dislike Paul, dislike each other, dislike Josh. Small bond, Josh and Enzo. Enzo, he's coming up strong here. Josh is disliked, dislike towards Paul. Paul is disliked. I am shocked, especially by Devon. Janelle wins her second HOH. Time Me a River. This is the I don't remember who won it. Who cares? Here comes the twist. America is voting for 3 house guests to compete. 1 gets immunity for the week, 1 gets a punishment, and the third is a nominee. America has voted to put Danielle, Enzo, and Josh into this comp. If I know America, they want Danielle to get safety, and they want one of these 2 to go on the block. I'm guessing they want this guy to be punished because Enzo being punished is funny, and they want him on the block. So let's find out. 3 House guests chosen. Enzo is 1 immunity. Danielle is going to be a chicken in the Annalise role, while Josh is nominated. America getting what they want on the field trip. So who will Janelle nominate next to her ally? They have the votes to keep him. They put up 2 from the alliance of 3. There's no reason Josh should go home this week, but Janelle and the house could flip on Josh and get rid of another winner. Here comes the nomination ceremony. Danielle and Kaser, unsurprisingly, are nominated with Josh. Tyler is definitely the backdoor plan if one of them come off. Here come the veto selections. Tyler being drawn to play while Hayden's being drawn to play. Tyler, if he wants to save his alliance, needs to win this veto and pull one of his 2 off, or it could be the end of the road for Tyler, Danielle, and Kaser. Let's see how the POV competition goes. And Josh wins the POV and saves himself. Now this is interesting. I can't remember. I don't think there will be a replacement nominee in this case. So we are going to lose either Danielle or Kaser, I believe. So let's go to the veto ceremony. Yes, I was correct. Josh uses the veto on himself, saves himself from America, and now Danielle or Kaser are going home. It's unfortunate, but we will have the first member of our jury here. Kaser made jury. So let's go to the house, see the events. Kaser and Janelle are bonding while Kaser and Josh are fighting. Kaser, this is not the time to be getting into a fight. It's unfortunate for Kaser. I think that might spell his doom. Let's go to the eviction. Danielle votes to evict Kaser. Enzo votes to evict Kaser. Hayden votes to evict Kaser. Ian votes to evict Danielle. That is 3-1. I believe there are 7 votes, so 1 more vote for Kaser and it's over. Josh votes to evict Kaser. Then let's see how the other votes fall. Danielle and Kaser. Kaser is going home in the first member of our jury by a vote of 5-2. Danielle Reyes survives. Let's go to week 8. Here's our reset. Amber, Bailey, Cody, Danielle, Casey, Kaser, and Nicole all don't have a chance to win Big Brother All-Stars 2. Showing our alliances here. That alliance is now crippled. I don't like the odds. If anybody from this side of the house wins, these 2 are definitely going up. Tyler and Danielle are definitely going up. If it falls like I think it will, I'm not even gonna bother going through this. Everyone hates each other. It's 2020. But Tyler wins the HOH. We got an upset here. Maybe Tyler can use this to get himself into a better position. Let's check out the nomination ceremony. Who's Tyler going to nominate? He's nominating Josh and Paul. It's an interesting. Paul has not made many waves. It kind of feels like a waste of an HOH. You need to put up Hayden and Janelle, who've been winning a lot of competition. So maybe there's a backdoor plan. We'll find out. Who's selected for the veto? Janelle and Hayden, of course, and now Ian. We have still have 3 winners in this game. They've got rid of 2 of the winners, but have struggled to get rid of the other 3 who've banded together. This is a relatively good draw for Josh and Paul. Ian and Hayden and Janelle could take one of them off. Danielle was really the only one that Tyler wanted in this veto, and she's not in. So let's go to the POV competition. Ian has won the power of veto. I think the play for Ian here is just not to use it and lose Paul or Josh. They're not in the core alliance of three. We'll go to the veto ceremony. Ian does not use the power of veto. Like I said, it's the way to do it. And Josh and Paul are the final nominees. This might be the way to get rid of the winner. These two sitting next to each other. Paul getting more votes. Paul getting less votes than Josh. But this time Paul winning that. I really like that idea. So let's go see the house. Showing the events. Janelle and Josh are bonding while Danielle is having a major meltdown, and rightfully so. She had her power. She wasted it. She did not use it. And now she's in trouble. She is on the outside looking in. Doesn't seem like that Tyler and her were able to make any roads, and yeah, they're going to get rid of a fringe member of the alliance. And oh well. I mean, Tyler made a mistake putting up the fringe member. He should have put up someone like Ian, Hayden, or Janelle, the core members of that alliance. Let's go to the votes. Davon votes to evict Paul. Danielle votes to evict Paul. Enzo votes to evict Josh. Hayden votes to evict Paul. The votes are 3-1, which means we need 2 more votes for Josh or Paul is going home. Ian votes to evict Josh. We could see another tie vote, but we won't because Janelle votes to clip Paul, keeping a winner in the game and a more disliked player, Paul. Finally, not hitting the final 2 for the first time in 3 seasons. Paul has been evicted by a vote of 4-2. Paul wasn't making any waves. He wasn't making any moves. He was kind of just slinging in side alliances, and unfortunately, he got clipped. He was collateral damage. He wasn't in a core alliance with anybody like his more successful seasons. So here's our reset. We have Amber, Bailey, Cody, Danielle, Casey, Kaser, Nicole, and Paul all out of the house, while Danielle, Enzo, Hayden, Ian, Janelle, Josh, and Tyler all still have a chance at that 500K. You know what? No, it's going to be for $1 million. It's an all-star season. I'm calling it for $1 million. But Danielle and Tyler are on the outside looking in against an alliance of 5. But, and Devon, alliance of 6. I'm worried that they aren't going to be able to make their way in. But this alliance of 6 is going to have to turn on each other. And they got to hope it's this week. Check on the house. No new relationships have been formed. We have this strong alliance of 6 versus this alliance of 2, and then the core alliance of 3. Like I was saying, Hayden, Ian, and Janelle. This alliance is gonna. This is the a version of the Quack Pack for Ian. He's gonna take this to the final 3, hopefully win and win the game. I just have a feeling that Ian is the favorite here. He's been on the block, survived it. Janelle and Hayden have won too many competitions. Josh has already been evicted once. And then Enzo and Davon are stretch. I don't see any chance for Danielle and Tyler, but let's go to the relationships and find out that everyone still hates each other except for Josh and Enzo. Yeah. So Davon has won the HOH. Davon. That's from the Alliance of 6. Davon needs to make a move here. She is on the outside of the Alliance of 6. She is not in that group of 3. She needs to reel in Tyler and Danielle to be a group of 3. And then pull in either Enzo, which I don't think you can pull Enzo away from Hayden, or Josh, and really take a run at this. Otherwise, I have a feeling she's in for a 6th or 7th place finish here. Let's go to the twist. Oh, America's Prankster, and they vote for Janelle. I forgot about this. She will get to hijack Davon's HOH and put up one of the nominees, which even if Davon wanted to make a move, she can't. Davon is going to have to put up Tyler and Danielle. It's her only choice. Otherwise, if she tries to make a move now, Janelle could just counter it, put up someone that she wants to work with. Let's go to the nomination ceremony. And Janelle is nominated Enzo. Janelle makes the move at her own alliance first, while Davon nominates Danielle. Tyler. Did Tyler work his way in with Janelle? Is Tyler being a secret great player again? Or is just Janelle making this move on her own? Let's go to the veto selections. Davon has drawn Janelle. Danielle has drawn Hayden, and Enzo has drawn Ian. Enzo needs Hayden or Ian to win because I believe they will pull him off. Janelle could pull him off too. It could be a backdoor attempt to get rid of Tyler. So let's go ahead into the POV, and Janelle wins again. Janelle is a comp queen. We are not surprised. I think this is a backdoor plan. I think Janelle is going to take down Enzo, name the nominee herself because it's her nominee, put up Tyler. Let's see if I'm right. And I am right. Janelle has pulled down Enzo as the pawn and put up Tyler. Tyler has been officially backdoored. I don't see Tyler surviving this. I think Danielle will live to see another week. But it's unfortunate. This alliance with this America's Prankster twist kind of hamstrung Davon. I thought Davon's chance here would have been able to turn, but now she's going into the final 7 in an alliance of 6, and I think she's at the bottom of that alliance. Let's check on the house, showing the events. Davon and Danielle are having a small fight, and rightfully so. Danielle probably was trying to get her to flip, and she wouldn't. While Josh, she's impressing the house and losing popularity. Okay. Tyler has officially abandoned Danielle and then rejoined Danielle with Enzo. Enzo, buddy, let's make an alliance with 2 people, one of which are going home. I should have picked Polly. Check on the votes. Either Danielle or Tyler will be leaving the house. Enzo votes to evict Danielle. Hayden votes to evict Danielle. Ian votes to evict Danielle. I believe that's it for Danielle. I think there's only 5 votes here. Tyler is voted to evict by Janelle. Josh votes to evict Danielle. There's the 4 votes. The 4 votes, that's more than enough. Danielle is gone. Tyler lives to be the last remaining member of his alliance. Tyler's going to have to make a move here, or he's done. I mean, as a backdoor candidate, he managed to wiggle his way off the block again. Seems like an unnecessary backdoor there. Janelle getting some unnecessary blood. I'm sure that prankster thing got out, but Tyler's 1v6 now. But he's got Enzo on his side, so maybe, just maybe, him and Enzo can flip the house. Heading into week 10, we know who's evicted. We got the alliance of 6, Davon, Enzo, Hayden, Ian, Janelle, and Josh versus the lone survivor, Tyler. But Tyler has started to loop in Enzo. If one of them can win HOH, there's a good chance this alliance could crumble. The house status. We have this alliance of 6, like I said. The core alliance of 3. This is our final 3. I'm calling my shot. But Tyler and Enzo are showing some great loyalty. If Tyler or Enzo can win this HOH, specifically Enzo, if Enzo can win this HOH, he's more loyal to Tyler than he is to them. Janelle has won another competition. Janelle is just a beast. Janelle is going to win this game if she keeps winning these comps. Janelle has won the HOH. She is definitely putting up Tyler. And after what happened with Enzo, Enzo might be going up as well. Let's go to the nominees. But she nominates Davon. Davon, you got screwed out of your HOH, and now Janelle is either using you as a pawn or taking the first shot at her alliance. To the veto draw, Enzo is drawn, which is good for Tyler. Josh is drawn, Hayden is drawn, both of which are good for Davon if she wants to save. But if Josh and Hayden pull off Davon, then someone else from that alliance is going up. And Hayden, I don't see him using the veto and going against Janelle's wishes. He will probably keep them the same. But Josh wins the POV. We don't know where his loyalties lie. Is he with the group of 3 tighter, or is he more with Davon and Enzo? Let's find out if he saves Davon. He does not use it. I think this is goodbye Tyler. I just don't think he has the votes. I think they're going to bring it down to the final 6 with that alliance of 6. They steamrolled the other side of the house. I just think that's going to happen. But here we go. There's 4 votes to evict here, so we do have a tie opportunity. Josh and Ian have bonded while Davon and Tyler have fought. But Ian is getting significantly popular. Ian, as the game gets stronger. We know this from Big Brother 14. Here come the votes. Yep, and unfortunately Tyler was not able to swing the votes. He was able to get Enzo to flip for him, but now Enzo is just drawing a target on his back. Tyler will not win Big Brother All Stars. This leaves 3 former winners: Davon, Enzo, and Janelle, and 3 former winners in the house. We could see a 2-time winner, the first 2-time winner of Big Brother. Tyler is gone, and it's double eviction night, baby. Who is going to win? We had the final 6 of Enzo, Hayden, Ian, Janelle, Josh, and Davon. Janelle, if she makes it to the end, is going to win this game. She has 3 HOHs and 2 POVs, but she can't compete in this HOH. This is a good time to take your shot at her. But if Hayden or Ian win, I don't see it happening. It's going to have to be Enzo, Davon, or Josh. Let's see what happens. The alliances are still holding strong. This 6-person alliance is all holding their guns up at each other like it's the Office episode. I'm not even going to bother with the relationships at this point. Everybody freaking hates each other. So let's go to the HOH competition. Who will win the double eviction HOH? And it is Davon. Oh, Davon. Davon getting screwed out of her HOH 2 weeks ago, getting put up and sitting on the block on eviction night by Janelle. Janelle's got to be going up here, right? There's no backdoor chance. There's no reason not to nominate her. Davon is going to probably nominate Janelle and Hayden. I think the 2 comp beasts. I think that would be the play. But she nominates Janelle and Josh, which is interesting because Josh sitting next to anybody, I don't think Janelle goes. I don't think Janelle goes here. And Janelle will probably just win the veto anyway. So everyone gets to play. The final 6. We have Davon, Janelle, Josh, Enzo, Hayden, and Ian. Let's see what happens. The POV competition is to be played, and the winner is Josh. He will pull himself off the block, leaving the target on Janelle. Janelle could be going home in the double eviction because Josh will pull himself up, and then Davon will put up Enzo, the clear outlier in the alliance of 6. He had turned on the alliance, and now he has that risk of going home. If Janelle survives this double eviction, Janelle will win this game. I feel it. Let's check on the house. Davon and Josh are bonding, but that is the HOH. The HOH and Josh are bonding. Hayden and Janelle have a major fight. The alliance of 3 is crumbling, and it has a lasting impact. Josh is impressing the house, but Janelle is gaining significant popularity. Maybe they're against Hayden. Maybe they should have put up Hayden. Will Janelle survive against Josh? Let's find out. Enzo, and she does. By a vote of 2-1, Ian and Hayden stick with the alliance of 3, and they get rid of Enzo. Davon missed her shot. She should have put up somebody in the alliance of 3. Janelle is gone. Enzo is gone, leaving. That's going to be a hard spot to come out from. Now Davon can't compete, so Josh is by himself against a 3-person alliance. But they all think they're together. That 3-person alliance has kept themselves secret. We'll go to next week. The final 5 of Davon, Janelle, Ian, Hayden, and Josh. All of which have comp wins, but Ian, which made his name on comp wins in season 14, is at the least. Josh has 3 veto wins. Hayden has won 2 HOHs along with Davon, and Janelle leads the pack with 3 HOHs. So Ian's going to need to win an HOH here if he wants to win this game. So let's check on the house and check on the alliances. Oh, all the alliances are remaining strong, which is interesting. Danielle, I'm telling you, Davon and Josh probably think that one of these 3 are with them stronger, but it's clear. This is the power alliance. I called it earlier in the season. This is going to be the final 3 unless Davon or Josh can somehow flip the house. Josh is going to have to win this HOH and put up 2 from this alliance and force one of them to go home. So let's show the relationships. Hayden now extremely hates Josh. There's medium dislike, 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 small bond, which is good. This is good here. This bond is necessary if they want to come back from this deficit. We have a small bond here as well. So let's find out. Let's find out who wins the HOH. Hayden has won the HOH. Davon missed her shot. Hayden won his 3rd HOH of the season. He's definitely going to put up Davon and Josh. There's no way around it unless they're trying to conceal this alliance of 3, because honestly the veto is all that matters and they have the votes. If 2 of them are off the block, they have the votes. So let's go to the nomination ceremony, and yep, Davon and Josh are nominated. The final 3 is showing itself officially to the rest of the alliance. everyone will get to play in the veto. It's up to the veto. Davon or Josh need to win the veto to save themselves, but it's not going to be enough because no matter what, the best they could do is tie, and Hayden will break that tie. It's Davon and Josh played themselves. And Ian wins the veto. He needed a comp win. He got a comp win. He will not use that veto unless he's ready to convince Hayden to turn on Janelle. Now, that could happen. It's unlikely, but honestly, it's the necessary move, and it's the move I think Ian would really make. In today, Ian, especially. But will BrantSteele Ian make the move? Let's find out. And he does not use the veto. Davon or Josh are going home. That's unfortunate. The final three is taking hold. It's really going to take Josh or Davon winning the final four HOH to break up that final three. Hayden's impressing the house while Ian and Josh have a fight, and Josh is losing popularity fast. But another alliance is formed. What's up with people making alliances with two people on the block? I guess Janelle is here, grabbing these two people in, setting herself up for a 2v2 endgame. And there goes Josh. Josh has been voted to evict 2-0. There goes a winner. And our final four is set with Davon, Ian, Hayden, and Janelle. Final four. Ian really needs this HOH here. If Davon could win this HOH, though, Janelle making that alliance with her could save her, and then we could see Ian and Hayden going up, the last two winners. Let's check on the alliances, and yes, here we go. We have that alliance of 3 and this alliance of 2, but do these two have more loyalty to them, or does Janelle? Is Janelle sitting pretty? Is Janelle going to win this game? If Ian finally wins the HOH, Ian Terry is going to the final 3 for the second time in 2 seasons. Let's see who he nominates. And he puts up Davon, naturally, and Hayden. It all comes down to the veto this week. If Davon can win this veto and have the sole vote to evict, we will see Hayden going home with her allegiance to Janelle. But if Ian or Hayden or even Janelle can win this veto, we may see Davon go packing in our final 3 be set. I don't see Janelle going home here. Janelle's going to have to be cut at the final 3. The luxury competition, Hayden wins $10,000. Good for him. Janelle, of course, gets to play. So who will win the POV? And it's Janelle. Janelle is safe and will cast the sole vote to evict. We could see Hayden getting cut here now that she has ties to both Hayden and Davon, but the ties are stronger to Hayden. But Hayden's also more of a threat to win this game, being a winner in the final 2, 2-time winners. It's going to be hard to vote against that. Let's check out the veto ceremony. And she does not use it. Davon and Hayden and the nominees are final. The house status is here. Ian and Hayden have a minor disagreement, but Hayden's getting more popular, which is good for him in the end game here. Wow. Alliance 7 is officially dissolved. And Davon has joined Hayden, but Hayden does not have the votes here. That's unfortunate. Davon, you needed to keep Janelle. Davon's probably going to go home. Davon messed up her endgame. She cliff-hogged this game here. And there it goes. Janelle is voted to evict Davon, and the final 3 that I predicted early on in this season has come to fruition. Davon has been evicted, and we have Ian with 1 HOH and 2 POVs, Hayden with 3 HOHs, and Janelle with 3 HOHs and 3 POVs, the comp queen. It's going to come down to this final 3 HOH. If Ian or Hayden want to win this game, they need to get rid of Janelle at the final 3. Will she go home in the final 3 again? That would be perfect. So showing off the house, we have our alliance and we have our bonds. These bonds might help us figure out who's going to the final 2. Janelle dislikes Hayden. Hayden dislikes Janelle. Wow. Ian has a bond with both of them. Ian could be in the GOAT position for both of them. Ian might not be able to win this game. He might need to win this HOH. He might have to cut Janelle. I think that's how Ian wins this game, by him cutting Janelle. Let's go to the first part of the HOH. And Hayden naturally wins. That was a very physical comp. Hayden winning that comp makes sense. Hayden wins part 1. Ian, you need to win part 2. It's a mental comp, usually. I believe this one, I don't quite remember it. But Ian needs to win this comp if he wants a chance to win this game. And Janelle wins. Ian is going to be taken to the final 2 if he goes. Unfortunately, Janelle has beat out Ian. And Janelle has a chance to not be cut. She has a chance to win this game. Let's check out the final three. And Hayden is the final HOH, giving him his 4th HOH of the summer. 4 HOHs is going to be hard, but he doesn't have the POVs that Janelle has. But let's see, if he cuts Janelle and brings Ian, we will have 2 winners in the final 2. So let's check on the house. Hayden is gaining popularity, which is, I mean, okay, I guess, but he has a sole vote to evict, doesn't matter. And then he votes to evict Janelle, and she goes home in 3rd place again. Ian and Hayden, the 2 winners, sticking together practically from day 1. So let's go to the finale and see the votes. The jury questions. They are questioning the final 2. And here it goes. Hayden, by a vote of 5-4, is the winner of Big Brother 21. Ian is finished 2nd, feeling what he ended up doing to Dan Giesling in season 14. Let's check out the votes. Amber voted for Hayden. Kaser voted for Ian. Paul voted for Hayden. Danielle voted for Hayden. Tyler voted for Hayden. Enzo voted for Hayden. The last 3 votes were for Ian. He came on strong at the end, but just wasn't able to pull off that last one. So unfortunately for Ian, he will not be able to win this game. In Hayden, the 2-time winner of Big Brother. Wow. Let's check out America's favorite, and it's Janelle. I'm not surprised there. 3rd place Queen Janelle. And finally, this is the end of season 22. Hayden Moss is the winner of Big Brother 22. Here are our placements. As you can see, we had a lot of unanimous votes here towards the end, obviously, very small votes. Unfortunately for Danielle, she was not able to really play, which I don't think many people are going to be happy about. Checking out the statistics here, Janelle winning 6 challenges, Hayden winning 4, just edging out Ian with those challenge wins. Those 4 HOHs compared to Ian's 1, I think that really might have edged it out in a few of the old school players' minds. Kaser received the most votes. That's interesting. Hayden receiving 0 votes to evict all summer, while Ian received 4. I mean, Hayden, I don't even, he was only nominated 1 time. I mean, Hayden played a very good game. He was in a power position from the beginning. Janelle, conversely, was nominated 3, and Ian twice. Hayden Moss, very good game. Deserves it. Let's check out the popularity towards the end of the season. And in the finale, interesting that at the end of the final HOH, Hayden had dropped, and Ian was more popular. Just Hayden just turned out to play a better game. Finally, let's check out the summaries here. Don't really matter. Congratulations to Hayden Moss, the winner of Big Brother 22 All-Stars.